everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ileana and I'm going to be showing you how to make this easy card. Here are some of the supplies that I'm going to be using. I'm going to start off with a paper pack that I've had in my stash for a while, and I just picked a colorful pattern. I don't think Tailored Expression sells this anymore, but just pick anything you like that you have already in your stash. And then I used my swatches to pick out coordinating colors. I'll be using the My Favorite Things Wonky Rectangles die on my new iCrafter magnetic mat. You use it in place of a regular cutting mat, and I like it because it's totally magnetic. All I did was remove the shim from the SSS platform and just added, I think, a couple of pieces of the grid paper just to get a better cut. For my sentiment, I'm using the Altenew Sweetest Pea stamp set, and I've just selected the sentiment that says "You are the sweetest." I do like to emboss all of my sentiments, so I like to use the VersaFine Clair black onyx ink. I think it's black onyx. But anyways, I added some Brutus Monroe ICICLE, and I'm just going to heat set that with my heat gun. Once I'm done with that, I am going to take my die cuts. I did use the Simon Says Stamp Soft Serve die, and I just used some coordinating pink paper that went with my pattern paper. And I did use this pink glitter paper. It is from Concord and 9th. I'm not sure if they still have it in their store, but you could use whatever glitter cardstock matches with your pattern paper. So I'm just going to glue the pieces together with some Nuvo liquid adhesive. And I'm just going to set that aside to dry while I get the rest of my pieces together. Now for the ice cream cone part, I did add some stick-it adhesive to the back of my cardstock just so that it would be a lot easier to adhere it together and I wouldn't have to use the glue on the tiny strips. So I'm just going to peel off the backing from the stick-it, and because it's thin, it's easy to cut through on your die cutting machine, and I'm just going to put the little pieces together. Once I get it where I want, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to go ahead and brayer that in place just so that it adheres well. Now I wanted to add a little bit of dimension, so I took my smallest blending brush from Picket Fence, and I'm just going to add some of this Tattered Rose distress ink to it, and you can't really see it, but it just adds a little bit of dimension. I didn't go too crazy with it, but I just went ahead and just applied it, and I went in one direction so that it would look more of a shadow. Once that's done, I'm going to add some liquid adhesive to the back of my ice cream part, and then I'm just going to set that aside to dry. Now for where I'm going to put my ice cream, I'm going to add a little bit of ink blending to that. And the first time I tried this, it didn't turn out so well. I left it in the video so that you can see exactly what I did. It didn't turn out, so I had to cut my piece again and then try it again. So I'm just going to take some of this Lollipop ink, and I did wipe it off, and then I went to go ink blend it, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, that is way too dark. I wanted it to be very subtle. So I cut my piece again and embossed it again, and without re-inking it, I just used my brush, and there was hardly any ink on my brush, so I really had to work at just getting that light layer of ink blending on there. I wanted it to look more like ethereal, kind of very slight, and so I went back and I added the blue because I did try it with the blue, and I tried this like 3 times and I finally got it to where I liked it. And I did want to add a little bit of yellow just for a little bit added color. You just have to be careful that you don't blend too much, or you're going to make orange and you're going to make green. So you want to keep that very slight. So now that I got that exactly how I wanted, now I'm going to add some foam to the back of my die cut. And the very tip, I didn't want the tip to get caught up when you take the card in and out of the envelope, so I'm going to pull out some of this cool tack. I had a little bit tiny left on the roll, and I'm just going to cut a tiny little sliver just to put on that little hook of the soft serve. This cool tack is like super sticky, and so it makes it a little difficult to adhere it. But once you get it on there, you're not going to see it because it is clear. And so I'm struggling to get it off my finger, so I have to use a blade to get it off. Once I remove all of the backing from my foam tape, I'm going to go ahead and mount this onto my die cut piece. So I'm just going to set it down with my tweezers. That way my fingers don't get in the way and I can get it all centered. I wanted to add a little bit more. I wanted some bling on there, so I added some of these pretty pink posh sequins on there. These are the ones that I think they're called the confetti ones. So I'm just going to add a little bit. I did cut out the part where I was trying to figure out where to put everything, because that took me like a whole 5 minutes to figure out where I wanted to put these little pieces of confetti. Once everything's on there, then I decide that I want still more bling, and so I decided to add some clear Stardust Stickles to a part of the ice cream. And I'm not sure why I didn't do this after I mounted it to my pattern paper, because now I have to wait for it to dry. I thought I had filmed it, but I did not. So here's my completed card. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the like button. Have a great day.